So now when you understand what is the key to longevity, DNA and telomeres, we can look at what you need. So you need protein structure, nucleotides, vitamins, and minerals. Where do we find them? This is not a good news for vegans or vegetarians, because the biggest building blocks come from animal products. So for example, purines come from seafood, like shrimps, meat, because it's animal muscle. It already has the ATP. It already has all the 23 amino acids, which are building blocks of our DNA as well. Organs, because remember, we said that organs have the highest condensation of mitochondria, the energy powerhouse. So liver, heart, kidneys, preferably from a young organic animal. And I know you will be rolling your eyes now and say, I cannot eat this. So vegans very often also buy bakery yeasts because it's high in B12, which is also one of the things that can potentially help you to increase it. And if it's difficult for you to eat the meat, you can do what I do, because I don't really eat meat. It's very, very occasional. I use collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acids, and I mix it into drink. So I take either kefir or water, mix 1 scoop of the collagen, elastin. So collagen is basically collagen type 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is made from the skin and from the bones of cows. So it's a bovine collagen, and elastin is made from the skin and from the bones of fish. So it's it has the amino acids and it has the omega-3 in it, and then hyaluronic acid, which is naturally with young cells are producing hyaluronic acid, and with the age it declines. And of course, because now you understand that the biggest danger of the aging and the mutation and the damage of the DNA are free radicals. And therefore we need to use antioxidants. You were very lucky to get from Chris enzogenol for 90 days. So you have 3 months, and every single day you can take 1 enzogenol, or you can do what I do. You can buy on the websites using the discount code Blanka 10%, the brain boost. So there is a body boost, but also brain boost. I love brain boost because it's a combination of the enzogenol and it's all the pigment and vitamins and minerals, and there is also omega-3. I take 1 scoop of the brain boost, 1 scoop of the collagen, and either water or kefir, and I mix it together, and that is a daily dose that I need to protect my DNA. So hopefully you get inspired by this. Now we need to look also at mitochondria, because do you remember that mitochondrial DNA has slightly different structure, and it's actually prone to oxidation much more, because in the mitochondria there is an electron transport chain. So basically when we take the food, the glucose, that needs to be broken down, and these electrons are going on and off, on and off. And for example, oxygen, you know that oxygen is 2 molecules together. That's why it's O2. And everything that is in pair is not dangerous. But in this oxygen transport chain, they separate and they become singlets. And single oxygen is basically free radical. It's going to attach to anything that it finds. And therefore, it can attach to the mitochondrial DNA and damage the structure. And that's what we don't want. So we want to have abundance of antioxidants, but also coenzyme Q10. So coenzyme Q10 is also antioxidant, but it is actually a part of the molecular structure of mitochondria. And I personally use omega-3 fish oil with coenzyme Q10 together in pills. But next week, I'm going to introduce to you a new product that I'm testing now, because there is a free test that you can do. It's a prick test to see what the phospholipid bilayer of your cells has. Does it have enough omega-3 or omega-6? So stay tuned for this. Then lipoic acid is also antioxidant. It's endogenous antioxidant. It's produced by our body, but we can take it in supplement as well. You can eat selenium. So selenium is one mineral that is completely depleted from the soil. The only source of selenium is Brazil nuts, and you can eat 3 Brazil nuts per day. Melatonin. You maybe know melatonin as a sleep hormone, but it's not only sleep hormone, it's also antioxidant because it's actually repairing the DNA and looking for the damaged cells and making this apoptosis, the programmed cell death. So sleep is very important, especially the stage 3 and 4, when it's the deep sleep, because that's where the melatonin and the repair process comes to detect if there was any damage. And you can supplement melatonin. However, I would recommend it only if you are under severe stress or you really have difficulty to fall asleep. Otherwise, it's not recommended. Coffee. Surprisingly, research showed that coffee has some benefits because of the antioxidants on mitochondria. And then, of course, protein. I know you are going to hear me saying this all over again. Eggs do not increase cholesterol. It's only stress and sugar that makes cholesterol. Eggs are a wonderful source of amino acids, acetylcholine that is protecting your brain and all the building structures, and then of course fish. So fish and eggs, that's something that I recommend. L-carnitine. L-carnitine is in eggs and in fish, basically in any animal product, and that is amino acid that is helping to break down the fat and use it as energy so that you can be this hybrid car. Zinc. Zinc is involved in about 500 enzymatic reactions. Now you know what is enzyme, yes? So in enzymatic reactions, it's a part of it, of that chain, of that enzyme. If you don't have zinc, then you cannot create this chain and the enzyme that needs to help to break down something. So it's a building block. And for example, 1 handful of pumpkin seeds is a sufficient amount of zinc, but you can also supplement zinc 15 milligrams per day. You can take it after lunch with your endogenol. B vitamins. B vitamins are important to protect the brain for the methylation in the liver. We will dive deeper into this in other weeks. And B vitamins you find in nuts, seeds, and grain. So for example, buckwheat is very high in B vitamins, millet, oats, all the alternative grains that I recommend on my shopping list. You can download this shopping list from the Google Drive folder, print it out, and anytime you go shopping, just buy the ingredients that are there. Antioxidants, that is our favorite endogenol, and then omega-3 fatty acids. As I said, I will talk about it more next week. So, mitochondrial dysfunction. Why do we want the mitochondria healthy? So we know that liver needs to create the enzymes, detoxify, so even break down medication. If you are using any medication, the liver has phase 1 and phase 2. In the phase 1, the drug actually becomes active. And in phase 2, it's broken down, used by the cells, and then removed from the body and then the liver. If we, for example, don't have optimal amount of enzymes and the function of the liver, this can also cause the cancer because, for example, estrogen is not broken down and therefore it recirculates and it's again attaching to the receptors, and then it can cause the breast cancer. Yeah, so that's why liver and mitochondrial health of the liver is important. Heart, because remember that heart, the myocardium is squeezing, this muscle is squeezing all the time, and it's pumping the oxygen, the fresh blood into every part of the body, especially the brain. And if you, for example, exercise and you can already feel, or maybe you drink coffee and you have the palpitations, or you cannot inhale, or you feel the pulse going too high, that is a risk of cardiovascular disease. And obviously, you need to look at your blood test results, and you also need to look at the cholesterol levels. Yeah, muscle. If you don't have optimal amount of mitochondria that actually need to produce the energy anytime when you need to run or exercise or even walk, you are going to have pain muscles everywhere. This is fibromyalgia. Yeah, it's painful points on the body. It can be migraines, it can be headaches, neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's and Parkinson. So this is basically the senescent cells, the inactive cells that did not burst, and now they are creating the plaque around the neurons in the body. So that's when the mitochondria in the brain, the cells, just stopped functioning. That's why we need to have them healthy. And if you want to have like improve the energy, mitochondria is important. Diabetes as well, because remember that mitochondria is actually producing the energy. So it takes the glucose and it's supposed to turn it into the energy. And if your body doesn't feel energized, it will send signal to the brain, hey, go to eat, because I feel really low. So you are going to eat something sweet, which means that you will have lots of glucose running in your bloodstream. And glucose is toxic. It's damaging the red blood cells. So the pancreas, the organ, is going to produce more insulin. So the chances are that if you look at your blood test results now, you will see that the levels of the insulin is extremely high. It's because the pancreas is pumping it. And this is going to deplete the stores of the pancreas, and that causes diabetes then, because diabetes means your body doesn't have sufficient amount of the hormone insulin to turn the glucose into energy, to move it into the cells. But the root cause might have been actually the mitochondria. And then the fatty liver, I showed you on a previous slide what the fatty liver looks like. And when the fat overtakes the space and there is no chance for the liver to have sufficient amount of the mitochondria and produce the enzymes, you are not going to break down the food, you are not going to turn it into energy, you will have low energy, and you might be damaging your body. So that is all from me.